We were hired to conduct some market research to see which of these two game guides, the Prima and the Versus, were preferred by male gamers between the ages of 10 and 21. They came from a variety of gaming backgrounds and game system platforms. They were allowed to select the game that they were most interested in, and then were given 30 minutes to look through the two game guides. Out of our 16 gamers, 11 of them clearly thought that the Versus guide was a superior guide. They said such things as the quality of information, the level of detail with the information, how the information was integrated with the maps, the graphics, the artwork, the basic overall organization of the guides made them easier to use, more fun to read, easier to read, and was a faster way to get to the information that they wanted.
Okay, see? You know that's a table of contents. It's in big letters. It's a whole page. This here, you can't really see it. It's in small writing. And just this table of contents, it looks like it just goes with, like it's copyright stuff. It seems like the people who were writing the book, who are writing, you know, the Versus book, have actually played the game. For the Prima, the lowest grade I gave them was an F. In my view, the Prima book sucks.
Okay.
And then, in my view, in the Versus book, it's a well put together, thought out strategy guide.
It tells you all the secrets. Here it shows you what you can combine. So this equals that and that put together. Whoa! Comes with a poster. Awesome. Oh my god, I like Versus better. Versus books are best.
Versus is really good about not spoiling the story itself. Like they might tell you what you need to do, but they won't necessarily tell you what'll happen. The Prima doesn't like even tell you how to get the different rankings.
I liked the Versus book best. This gives you like cheats and secrets, so you might want to look at this one. See, it's too like pencil. Doesn't have enough like wow in it. Versus book shows like how much of a chance, like the percent out of 100%, you can find them in that area. I'd say the Versus book is better.
The Versus book has charts, whereas the Prima book, like, there's charts, but there's mostly just pictures with like words underneath. The Versus book shows you your enemies, and they give you what you need to defeat your enemies, like all the different like arrangements of ammo and stuff like that. Whereas the Prima just said use grenades. This says the Versus book says it's weak against acid, and you should use acid rounds. And if you don't have acid rounds, try to electrocute them. The Prima book just told you one thing. The Versus is telling you, like, it gives you a chart for all the different things you'll need.
When you first buy a book, you've got to see. Usually people judge it by its cover, unlike, they say, like, this has more details of what's inside than Prima's. I saw the Gold Skulltula Index in Prima, and all it has is writing. You know, it tells you where it is, but it doesn't give you a picture. So in Versus, it gives you a picture of every single one, so you get an idea of where it is. So you look at your screen and you can compare it to here. And if it's in more detail, it makes it a lot easier to navigate through all this. Versus had more details of what was inside on the cover, and it just catches my eye a little bit more than Prima's, which only has like one thing that says all hidden items are revealed. The one that appeals to me most is Versus. It's easier to understand.
I prefer the layout of the Versus book, especially in the beginning, where they're telling you about all the enemies. Versus guide, I mean, has a whole separate, almost extra guide just for the mini game. This page tells me just about everything I need for this level, because it's also got little funny things like Resident Evil 3 Wacky Funland, just little sidebars as you're reading through that you can read it in, I don't know if you'd call it comic relief. Purely by looking at it, I found the layout of the Versus books guide to be a lot more pleasing just to look at, flipping through it, period.
Of these two books about Resident Evil, which one do you like the best?
I like the Versus book.
Versus has a lot of graphics and a lot of cheats and a lot of codes in it. The cover on this one has a lot more graphics than this one. It seems too plain and boring.
Okay.
And this one has a lot of action in it. They have bigger pictures, more attacks, and which TMs they could learn. And on Primas, they don't have which TM they could learn. I'd have to go with Versus.
I like this one's intro, the kind of basic skills, the Versus book's intro a little better. The Resident Evil 3 Wacky Funland, and it's some jokes about what they found in the game. They must have played through this thing for hours, so they probably noticed everything. But this would really be, I think, more useful for the actual playing of the game. It's just more inclusive and more detailed on how the game works and how to get better at it.
By looking at the covers, I'd probably be more likely to buy the Versus book based on the detailing of saying detailed maps, free poster, every secret revealed, perfect codes, all that kind of stuff.
Another thing about the Versus cover is even if you couldn't open it, it says what's included inside. It says every secret revealed, well, subjects such as infinite weapons, events, hidden costumes. It tells you just a little bit of what's inside.
Oh, this is the artwork that I like.
The Versus book had quite a bit of detail with the characters and some decent artwork.
The border is really nice with pictures of the game throughout the entire book. It just adds color to it, and the torn up pages gives it a mysterious feeling. I mean, that's the whole idea of the game.
I like it because it gives you a good visual.
Another thing I like too in the Versus is the artwork.
Okay.
In it, the drawings and everything, I found that they were a lot better.
The maps in this one,
Which one?
the Versus, they were all drawn and painted and all, so you could see everything. In the Prima one, it was like wireframe, you couldn't really...
It also shows exactly where items are and can show paths that you need to take and time-related sequences, and that can be really useful.
Versus has a big map of this whole area, and as I remember, this one didn't have this part.
They show you where the items are, so you don't go wandering aimlessly around, running around trying to find things.
This one shows the map, where to go.
Can you find the river on that map?
Oh, okay.
Can you find where the tree stumps are? Can you find where the bridges are on that?
Okay.
No. It's just a spot with lines on it and numbers.
Okay.
This one here shows you exactly, the shop, there's the river, the bridge, everything.
Like the Deku tree, and I guess that's the Deku tree. And it's not, that doesn't look like a tree to me. There's a lot of pages with maps in them.
Oh, there's a map. Map. Large scale map. Map. What the heck is this? Oh, cool.
Well, the posters were a nice addition. I just love them. Great posters. I'd hang them in my room, probably.
Which one is this one?
This one's the Versus. It's a checklist of all the Pokemon, so whenever you get one, you can just check it off. And the Versus It has a big one right here. Big poster.
Pictures like this.
Okay.
Yeah. I put that up in my room.
I love posters.
Gameplay screens, their screens are a lot easier to look at. I mean, they're sharper and they're bigger.
The Versus book is clearer than the Prima book. It's just the ones in the Prima book are kind of blurry.
This is a lot bigger than these little squares on the Prima.
The quality of the screenshots, they appear more colorful than Prima's guide.
The Versus, they just put the maps in and then like describe what's going on and then put screenshots of the key events instead of just screenshot of her running and her running and her running and
What we found was that out of our 16 gamers, 11 of them clearly thought that the Versus guide was a superior guide. They also thought that the Versus guide was written by gamers who actually played the games, rather than someone who was told what the game was about and then wrote a guide about it.
That's just nasty.